Ishtar of Akkadian, Assyrian, and Babylonian mythology. Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of love, fertility, war, and wisdom. Astarte, whose origins trace back to the northwest Semitic goddess Astarte, also known as Ashtoreth, Artemis, Isis, Venus, Cybele, Anunnit, and Atarsamane, Semiramis, Isis, Rhea, Layla, Lilibet, Lilial Magna Mater, the Queen of the Night, the Scarlet Woman, the Angel of the Night, Red Sonja, and many other names. The pentagram, red rose, heart, upright wooden stake, oak tree, oak leaf, the color red, the planet Venus, the inverted pentagram within the circle of the sun, and the numbers 5 and 50 are Lilith symbols. Lilith's mysterious nature has made her the subject of numerous legends and mythologies. Lilith first appears in the Epic of Gilgamesh as a dark, female figure ruling over the night and the depths of the underworld. In Sumerian, Babylonian, and Persian mythology, Lilith is depicted as a vampire woman, an owl, and a serpent. Isaiah 34 verse 14 states, "Wild animals shall meet with hyenas, the goat shall call to his fellow. Lilith shall settle there and find herself a resting place." In the Midrash, religious scholars write that Lilith was the first woman created from the earth alongside Adam. Her name is explicitly mentioned in the Dead Sea Scrolls, written based on the reference of the prophet Isaiah, who lived in the 7th century BCE. Lilith frequently appears in prophylactic magical bowls from medieval Judaism. She is also mentioned in the Alphabet of Ben Sira, a satirical work from the 8th and 10th centuries. In Christian iconography and Renaissance paintings, Lilith often appears as the woman with the serpent. So, who is Lilith? First, let's read from the Old Testament's Genesis chapters 1 and 2, starting at Genesis 1 verse 27. God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. Hebrew myths continue, stating that God, after creating Adam, also created the first woman, Lilith. However, unlike Adam, who was made from pure earth, Lilith was made from filth and sediment. Keep in mind that in this text, man and woman were created from the earth simultaneously. Some sources write that God created man and woman in his own image on the 6th day of creation and gave them the responsibility of the world. Genesis 1 verse 28 states, "God blessed them and said to them, 'Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth.'" And it is said that God gave Adam the responsibility to name all the creatures, birds, and everything that lives. Again, following this, Genesis chapter 2 verses 18, 21 to 23 continues. 2:18, "The Lord God said, 'It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him.' 2:21, "So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. And while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh." 2:22, "Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man." 2:23, "The man said, 'This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man.'" Here you might wonder, what's the problem? Remember the creation in Genesis 1 verse 27, where God said, He created them male and female at the same time from the earth. Then in Genesis 2 verse 22, it states, "He made a woman from the rib taken out of Adam," meaning a woman was created twice. The contradiction lies in the existence of two women, one created from the earth and the other from Adam. This situation has led to significant debates in Jewish folklore. The question is, why were two women created, and what happened to these two women? Who were the first woman and the second woman? Dear friends, in this video, we will seek answers to these questions. According to Hebrew myths, God created Adam and Eve from the earth at the same time. However, while Adam was created from pure earth, the first created woman, named Lilith, was made from a mixture of pure earth and waste material. Due to this difference in creation, Adam and Lilith were incompatible and never found peace in their union. In paradise, Adam wanted to be the dominant authority in all aspects of their relationship, and compared himself to the sky while likening Lilith to the fertile lands of paradise, demanding her obedience. At this point, Satan intervened and incited Lilith against Adam because Satan had made a promise to God. Let's recall this promise. Surah Al-Baqarah 34 states, "And mention, when we said to the angels, prostrate before Adam. So they prostrated, except for Iblis. He refused and was arrogant and became of the disbelievers." In Surah Al-Hijr 33, Iblis says to God, "I am not one to prostrate to a human whom you created out of clay from an altered black mud." In Surah Al-Araf 17, he adds, "Then I will come to them from before them and from behind them, and on their right and on their left, and you will not find most of them grateful to." In Hebrew myths, Lilith resisted Adam's attempt to assume the dominant position during intercourse, finding it degrading and saying, "Why should I be beneath you? I too was created from the earth, and am your equal." When Adam tried to use force, Lilith invoked God's forbidden name 3 times, leaving Adam in paradise. This situation is seen by feminists as the archetype of the first woman who opposed authority, patriarchy, and oppression. According to some sources, Lilith did not desire Adam because of her unrequited great love for God and approached Satan for revenge. As a result, Adam, left alone in paradise, became lonely and, after a long period of solitude, longed for Lilith and went to God, requesting her return. Adam said, "I was abandoned by my wife and I need her." God then sent 3 angels named Sinoi, Sansanoi, and Samangeloth, Sanvai, Sansvai, Smgloth, to the Red Sea to bring Lilith back. These angels found Lilith by the Red Sea, where she was living among numerous lustful demons. Lilith had engaged in relationships with the demonic figure Samael, also known as Lucifer, and his demons, giving birth to more than 100 Lilianae, or Limlim, each day. It is believed that the rebellious angels known as Nephilim, or fallen angels, are descended from Lilith. The 3 angels said to Lilith, "God commands you to return to paradise and be with Adam again." They threatened her, saying, "Otherwise we will drown you in this water here and kill 100 of your Lilianae or Limlim children every day." Lilith responded, "How can I return to Adam and be an honest and chaste woman while lying here by the Red Sea?" Rejecting and disobeying God's command, Lilith said, "Tell God that I will never return to Adam." Faced with Lilith's defiance, God ordered the 3 angels to punish her. Another interpretation suggests that God did not create Eve from Adam's rib, as traditionally stated, but rather from a part of his tail. According to this interpretation, God cut off Adam's tail. The remaining part became the coccyx, which has no function, and that is why descendants of Adam still have it in their bodies. When the 3 angels went to kill Lilith and her children as per God's command, they informed Lilith that God had created a new woman named Eve for Adam, and Adam was very happy. God punished Lilith by having 100 of her demonic offspring killed every day. Though Lilith accepted the daily loss of 100 demon children, it caused her great pain. When it was time to kill Lilith, she said, "You cannot kill me because God granted me the authority to protect male children on the day of circumcision, the 8th day, and female children until the 22nd day." Lilith vowed revenge, declaring, "God killed my children, so I will kill the newborn children of Adam and Eve." As retribution, she would misuse the authority given by God to protect children, taking the lives of male children within 8 days and female children within 22 days at night. She added, "Henceforth, know that I am behind the deaths of stillborn babies and sudden infant deaths." Lilith would become an enemy of both babies and mothers, harming pregnant women, those in labor, and women in postpartum. Addressing the angels who did not take her life, Lilith said, "I promise you that if I see an amulet with your names written on it near a newborn child's bed, I will spare its life." Thus, an agreement was made between the angels and Lilith. According to the agreement, if a child is not protected by an amulet with the names of the 3 angels, and Lilith kills that child, she will, in her rage, kill one of her own children. Even today, influenced by this legend, Jews have certain beliefs to protect their babies from Lilith's evil. Postpartum women are not left alone at home in the evenings. Knives and amulets are placed under the pillow, and no diapers are left on the clothesline. Women tie red ribbons in their hair and drink boiled postpartum sherbet. This is because they fear that Lilith will see the postpartum woman and realize there is a baby in the house, leading to an attack. Jewish women write the number 11 and the phrase, Eve in, Lilith out, on the walls of their bedrooms, along with the symbols of the three angels Sinoi, Sansonoi, and Samangeloth, to prevent their husbands from being enchanted, aroused, or seduced in their dreams by the succubus under Lilith's command. A succubus is a demonic or supernatural being that appears as a woman to seduce men, often through sexual means. The male counterpart is an incubus. To protect a newborn male child from Lilith until he is safe after circumcision, a circle is drawn on the wall of the child's room with coal or soda, and inside the circle, the words Adam and Eve, "Come in," Lilith, "Go out," are written. Despite these precautions, Lilith might still find a way to reach the child, and if she begins to love the child will start laughing in its sleep. To prevent this danger, the child's lips are tapped with fingers while they sleep, causing Lilith to leave and disappear. In modern medicine, this phenomenon, where a healthy baby under the age of 1 dies unexpectedly during sleep without any prior symptoms or other medical explanation, is defined as sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, or watch night. Brit Milah is the circumcision ceremony performed by a mohel, or circumciser, on devout Jewish male infants when they are 8 days old. During this ceremony, the baby is seated on the circumcision chair called Kis Shel, Leo. After the mohel gives the baby a Jewish name, the baby's reproductive organ is circumcised, causing blood to flow. It is believed that from that point on, the baby will be protected by the prophet Elijah. After leaving the angels, Lilith returned to paradise at night. Seeking revenge, she had intercourse with Adam while he was sleeping and stole his seed. With his seed, she gave birth to earthbound demons called Lilium to replace the children that the angels had killed. According to Kabbalistic details, Lilith continues to have children, entering the erotic dreams of men who sleep alone at night, seducing them, having sexual relations, and even impregnating herself by consuming the sperm of men who masturbate. In this way, she gives birth to more demonic children, the Lilium. Lilith's human-like offspring were born tailless from human men, starting with Adam, while she bore hybrids from demons. In his commentary, Alan Hum notes that Samuel Noah Kramer, in 1938, translated the Sumerian word Kizikol from the clay tablets containing the Epic of Gilgamesh as Lilith. The text describes this female as a Zu or Zuzu bird perched in the branches and residing in the trunk of a tree with a living serpent at its roots. On page 324 of Volume 4, Hum interprets the statue of a woman with bird claws for feet as a depiction of Lilith. After the killing of her children, Lilith harbored great resentment towards God. Meanwhile, Satan needed a starting point to fulfill his promise to God to lead the descendants of Adam astray. Lilith knew God's command to Adam, Eve, and herself, "Do not touch the forbidden fruit," and developed a plan. To take revenge on God, it was necessary for Adam and Eve to be expelled from paradise, and the way to achieve this was to somehow persuade them to eat the forbidden fruit. Lilith incited Satan to act on this plan, convincing Eve to taste the forbidden fruit along with Adam, thereby exploiting their weakness and leading them into sin. According to some sources, it was Lilith herself who gave the apple, not Satan. In doing so, she exacted her revenge, ensured their expulsion from paradise, and made them mortal. The Old Testament describes the subject as follows. Genesis 3 verse 1. The serpent was more cunning than any wild animal the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say, 'You must not eat from any tree in the garden'?" 3:2. The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden." 3:3. But God did say, "You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die." 3:4. The serpent said, "You will not surely die." 3:5. For God knows that when you eat of it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. 3:6. When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food, and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate it. 3:7. Then the eyes of both of them were opened. 3:22. The Lord God said, "The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat, and live forever." Since Lilith left Adam long before he was expelled from the Garden of Eden, she escaped the curse of death that befell Adam and Eve, as she had not tasted the fruit. According to Hebrew myths, the first book given to humanity was not the Torah, but the Sefer Yetzirah, Book of Creation, which comprised a few pages and was presented by God to Abraham, and even Adam, earlier. These texts, especially those addressing the creation, are known to form the foundation of Kabbalah. The number 32, found in the opening sentence of Sefer Yetzirah, symbolizes God's 10 manifestations on the cosmic tree of life and the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. In Bereshit, God's name is mentioned 32 times, and according to one belief, God created the universe through the number 32. Emphasizing values such as gender equality, women's sexual independence, and self-awareness, Lilith has become an icon of women's movements. Before patriarchy became dominant in world societies, matriarchal societies were prevalent. Matriarchy is the social system in which women, especially mothers, are influential. It is a form of social organization also known as matriarch or mother rule. This system is based on the idea of female superiority. Lineage is determined by women, authority belongs to women, and women are given more respect than men. The principle of female superiority forms the foundation around which the culture and structure of society are built.